What is this brief, mortal life, if not the pursuit of legacy?
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tavis Leaf Glover, and today we're going to be analyzing the House of the Dragon. This is a new series by the Game of Thrones, and we've got the trailer here. We're going to scroll through it and point out any composition and design techniques they're using. So I'm really excited for this show to come out, and this first scene right here is pretty amazing. The dragon's coming in from the right, going towards the left, creating that strong diagonal with the tail and the neck. And if we overlay the grid on there, we can see how it's paralleling this reciprocal diagonal. This is a reciprocal Baroque diagonal. It's paralleling it perfectly, and even the tail is. So they're utilizing the grid, and this is a Route 4. It's the perfect size for this trailer. I just randomly scrolled and stopped at one spot, and it was paralleling that grid perfectly. So we can definitely tell throughout this whole trailer that they're using the grid and incorporating the nice balance from that center line there. So we always want to look at this vertical center line when we're determining the balance from left to right, okay, and make sure the visual weight is equal. So right here we see figure ground relationship reversal. I'm going to turn the grid off, and we've got that center line there, and we can see the balance from left to right, and this is considered figure ground relationship reversal because this person is blurry and the distance is in focus. So we've got that nice balance from left to right. And we've also got aerial perspective in that shot. Very cool shot. Keep scrolling here. This one is a really nice shot too. Just kind of blurred out, mysterious looking, but they have this fire in the foreground, creating that kind of a mysterious look. Okay, aerial perspective is created in this as well because we have the contrast down here reduced so much that he's kind of blending in with the background. So great shot right here. Just going really fast through this forest. We've got foreground trees and background trees, and then the action is in the middle there. Great shot there. And then if you take a look at the balance again, we got that vertical center line, and then the action is going from left to right, and their gazing direction is going from left to right. So got the nice balance there, considering the gazing direction and the movement, and leaving this area here for negative space. And who knows, in the final scene of this action shot, it could have something else that's going to meet on the right side here. Some more aerial perspective. Any particles in the air that are reducing the contrast. It could be dust, snow, rain, pretty much anything that's going to reduce the contrast. Lighting effects, but right here we see some nice particles in the air as that shield looks like it's being smashed. You can see how the particles in the air kind of create that aerial perspective. Right here they've got smoke coming out. It's another great shot right here. Foreground action, the background is blurry, but it's kind of telling two stories. This person's pulling out the sword, and we can see that it's paralleling this Baroque diagonal here, and then she's in the background, and it's a unique way to tell the story of this scene. Another great shot with the dragon coming down. They're filming down towards it, and then the camera gets behind the dragon, and then we see where the dragon is going. Lots of aerial perspective there, and aspect of view of its wings expanding, and we can see the tail going from right to left, just helping us define that shape a little bit better. It's a great shot too. This is kind of an establishing shot, showing us what the city looks like. Got the dragon statue here, so we've got light kind of coming down this way, and then what's interesting is the shadows creating this shape here, but also to unify the background with the foreground, we've got this cloud here that's creating the same exact diagonal. So interesting how they incorporate this hidden rhythm within the scene. This is probably all digitally made too, and they're taking into account these design techniques and making the cloud echo the same diagonal within these shadows, so it all unifies together. So little hidden rhythm right there, which is nice. Got aerial perspective here too. You'll see a lot of centered shots. A lot of people that were taught rule of thirds, they were taught to be scared of the center, and they're using rule of thirds to get the subject out of the center, but you'll notice a lot of professional photographers and cinematographers balance things from left to right, and the starting point is the center. And you'll see a lot of center compositions that are beautiful and perfect. And this is one of them. Got aerial perspective coming in, but you can see how it's centered from left to right from that vertical center line. This is FGR reversal here. Got that foreground element right here, and the background is in focus. Another centered composition, nice balance from left to right, and then the action is coming through the center here. So the action from that vertical center line, let me draw it out real quick again. And it looks like the action is coming in this way, and we don't know much about this scene, but it looks like they're balancing these people with these people on the stage here. And then these are obviously balanced from left to right. So they're balancing that scene really nice. Got aerial perspective there again. Counterparts, you divide it from that vertical center line, we've got that back and forth balance. This balance concept is from the Law of Symmetry video, which is part of the Gestalt Psychology video collection. And if you're wanting to learn more about this stuff, check out the links below. I've got all the things that I've made to help artists surpass their plateau and reach the master level, and that includes grids, books, and all kinds of things. So check that out if you can. We can scroll through here and see how they're playing with that vertical center line. This guy, if we look, his head is to the left of that center line right here, and he's gazing this way, which leaves a lot of negative space here. So I'm wondering if they add something to the scene or if they're just trying to create some visual tension in that way and leaving all this negative space here. It's another figure-ground relationship reversal. Got the main character in the foreground, and then these subjects in the distance are in focus, and we've got nice aerial perspective creating that depth in there. Another centered shot here, another centered shot. So you can see they're using the center a lot, and that helps the balance from left to right. Nice figure-ground relationship here. He's clearly defined against the background. The only area that is colliding with a shape in the background is this part right here, and then we're clearly defined around there, so that's nice figure-ground relationship. It's a nice looking shot from the top. Looks like they're creating a diagonal going in this direction here. If we turn the grid on, we can see how they're trying to line that up to the grid right in the center, and then it curves around slightly here. Lots of aerial perspective. Great shot of the dragon flying in front of the sun. Nice aerial perspective, aspect of view. We can clearly see what's going on with a silhouetted shape. So you can see the shape of the wings, the tail, the face. Nice silhouetted shot there. Nice aspect of view of the dragon in a shot where there's not much detail. These are standard talking scenes. So you have the balance from left to right where they're looking at each other and offset from that center line. We even see that the side of her face here is aspect of view, clearly defined. We can see her nose and lips and chin, and then it's also paralleling this diagonal here. It's a nice composition with 3 people in the scene. Nice figure-ground relationship here. This guy's clearly defined with the throne, and then this guy's clearly defined against that background. So that's nice placement with 3 subjects in the scene, and then we've got this sharp texture around the edges, which is nice. It's more aerial perspective here. Really nice scene there. Rim lighting around her hair, and that's when the subject is in between the camera and the light source. Same with this one. Nice aerial perspective. Anytime you get a lens flare, it's reducing that contrast. See how the contrast of this subject is lost? So we're getting that depth created, plus we're getting a sense of warmth as that sun kind of just burns through the scene. It's another shot where it's FGR reversal, but we also have an aspect of view of this sword. So in real life, he may have been holding that sword sideways and we couldn't easily define it, but in a movie, you want to have it defined well, so they turn it sideways like this so we can see the shape of it better. More aerial perspective, great depth in that one. A nice balance here. If we turn this on, we can find that vertical center line and then see how they're balancing from left to right. So this is main interest and then second person of interest, and then we have a group here, and then we also have the sun creating interest. So we can see how they're balancing these guys together and then these guys together, plus their gazing direction is going from left to right and here, and then these guys that way. So a very nice balance, nice aerial perspective in that shot too. This is another great shot. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 people in this scene. So they're spacing them out so we can clearly see the most important part of the subject, which is their head. So if we wanted to clearly define these 2 people, she's kind of in front of this guy in the background, but we can still see his face, right? But if they wanted to, they could have her stand off to the side here, and that would clearly define his lower part of his body. But as it is a very complex scene, it's got nice composition because they're considering each character's head. Simple shot, but they've got nice aerial perspective, this lens flare, reducing the contrast of her face, and then the repetition of these pillars here.
Do you think the Ram will ever accept me as their queen?
A woman would not inherit the Iron Throne.
Because that is the order of things.
When I'm queen, I will create a new order.
Notice how this dragon is coming in on a strong Baroque diagonal, and if we turn the grid on, we can see how it's lining up to that Baroque diagonal there. This is even repeating that diagonal, so we can see it come in on the left and how it aligns to that grid. So this isn't just, by mistake, they're designing it this way. This is a great establishing shot, just kind of showing the scene and what's going on, how destroyed everything is. Nice aerial perspective. The character is right here walking through it all. Got a nice aerial perspective in this fighting scene, clearly defining these subjects on the background. The aerial perspective is helping with the figure grind relationship. More aerial perspective here. It can come in many different ways, but in movies it's usually seen as fog or smoke. We've got this smoke coming out of this dragon egg here. This is a cool scene. It's framed to show the huge size of the dragon, and as he's kind of like pushed up against the left side here, we've got the dragon taking up this full right side and more. If we put that vertical center line there, you can see he's consuming this side plus this side, and then this small guy right here, and then they have the dragon breathe and blow his hair back a little bit. It's kind of an interesting scene. And then it shows the full establishing shot with nice aerial perspective and an arabesque going through the body of this dragon, and the guy's down here so small. Aspect of view, centered composition. Aerial perspective reduces the contrast. His stance is an aspect of view. His arms are separated just a bit to show us that it's a human being standing there. And then the center composition, that vertical center line. They even have the diagonal of this cave paralleling the sinister diagonal there. Nice shot. They're switching the focal point from this girl to this girl. We can see that. They've got a nice figure ground relationship. See how she comes into focus. This is more figure ground relationship reversal, just adding interest to this foreground, making it blurry, adding depth. And then we have that fighting scene, aerial perspective in the background coming from above, adding more depth. It's a great shot here. Lots of repetition by the candles, aerial perspective, plus the foreground interest here. And then the background is in focus. Nice symmetry in this one. Draw the vertical center line, and you see how they're balancing these two figures from left to right. Even the candles, 3 and 3. More aerial perspective in this one as the characters run towards the camera. And we've got foreground fire and background fire. It's a great scene here. Nice aerial perspective. He's right on that vertical center line just to the left of it. The light's coming in from the right side and casting all this light and shadow on the wall, adding interest over here. And then the candles help balance each other as well. So a nice shot with the dragon flying to the left of them, getting nice figure ground relationship. These guys have nice figure ground relationship, and they combine it all together so everything's clearly defined as the dragon flies over them. There's a cool shot with the aerial perspective. The reflection in the water, got silhouettes of crabs crawling around, and then the sun is there. So they're combining techniques for the aerial perspective. So aerial perspective can be created by smoke and lens flare, and they're combining both of them in one shot, which adds a unique element to the scene. This is a great shot. The dragon's flying in from the left, and it's not clearly defined until it lights up the flames. See how it's kind of lost until it starts blowing fire, and then we can see the body of it better, which is exactly what would happen when these people are seeing it too. Wouldn't see it until it's starting to shoot flames out of its mouth. So aspect of view, nice silhouettes here. Plus, since she's standing sideways, we can clearly define her face, and then her posture and her belly indicates to us that she's pregnant. So we don't know anything about this scene or the movie yet, but we can clearly tell what's going on in the scene because they've composed it that way. Nice balance from left to right here, and the interest is right to the right of that vertical center line. Nice shot of the dragon here. Vertical center line, the gazing direction is going from left to right. It's a nice close-up shot, aspect of view. See her profile very well. Nice figure ground relationship with that rim light, and then the dragon just breathing down, looking all ominous. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hopefully this series is as amazing as Game of Thrones. But if you like this kind of stuff, leave a comment below. Let me know what else you want to see. If you want to see other episodes when they come out or whatever, I'll do my best to help you guys out. All right, take care, guys.